Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Jeff Winkle. I am a professor of humanities here at GRCC, and I will be your professor for HU281 Exploring World Religions online this semester. So this brief presentation is just to welcome you, to introduce myself, to talk a little bit about how the class will work, and give you kind of a sense of the rhythm of each week and what's expected of you and when I'm expecting work to be done. Talk a little bit about textbooks and what you can do to get started on this class smoothly. So, like I said, my name is Jeff Winkle, and I am a professor here. I've been teaching here at GRCC for about 5 or 6 years, and my academic background is actually in the field of what we call classics, which is ancient Greek and Roman studies. Ancient Greek and Latin, archaeology, mythology. I actually teach a mythology course here at GRCC as well. Architecture, philosophy, history, anything having to do with the ancient Greeks and Romans is where I'm coming from. And as you'll see fairly quickly, we're going to start in this class talking about kind of ancient religions, and which was one of my expertises in graduate school, and it's a topic that I continue to be fascinated in. And so we'll kind of start with these ancient, quote unquote, dead religions before we get into the living world religions, which is, of course, is the main focus of this class. And so I think a class like this, I think is I'm guessing that probably most of you are taking this class to fulfill a humanities requirement. But I think this is one of these classes that is so essential, for the world that we live in today. As the world becomes more connected, becomes more globalized, it brings us more into contact with cultures around the world. In some ways, they've never been more easily accessible than they ever have been. And so knowing something about belief systems around the world will kind of open more doors, knock down more walls, and make us just kind of better citizens of the world and help us better understand humanity around the world. So you can see in the back slide here, we'll be looking at many, if not all, of the religions that are listed here: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, the so-called monotheistic kind of big three religions. Eastern religions like Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Confucianism, Shinto, Jainism, native spirituality, paganism. We'll be tackling a lot of stuff in the next 14 weeks. It's a fascinating subject, and I hope you find it so. I love teaching this class, and I learn something every time I do it. Now, to some of the basics. This is what we call an asynchronous course. This is a term that's used a lot with regard to online education. So if you're new to online stuff, asynchronous, what that means is that we will not be meeting, have regular meetings online. I will not be giving Zoom lectures live. I will not expect you to be online at a particular time and day. What you will find is that on the course Blackboard site, which is the main clearinghouse for everything that I'm asking you to do in this course, you'll find that each week will have its own folder. And in that folder, I'll have a list of assignments, lectures for you to watch, videos to watch, readings to do, quizzes to take, forums to respond to, again, depending on the week. And generally speaking, I will expect that you will be able to do the work and complete the work within a week's time. So what will happen is at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, right before the next week begins, the folder for the next week will open up. Now, I'll be a little bit loose and free as we get started, just because I know people sometimes have trouble getting the textbooks right away. If you're new to online education, finding the right rhythm. But as soon as we get about 3 or 4 weeks in, I'll expect that everybody will have the textbooks. Everybody's kind of gotten used to the rhythm, and I'll expect you to do the work and complete the work of a folder within a week's time, within the time allotted for that within that given week, so to speak. All right, this will become clearer as we'll take a peek at the Blackboard site in the other video in the orientation folder here. If you're looking for first steps, the very first thing that you should do is to pick up these 2 textbooks. These will become our anchor texts, and we'll start using them fairly quickly in the course. So this one over here, Living Religions, is the main textbook by Mary Pat Fisher. It really is quite a wonderful text. It's a really digestible, very readable, very interesting introduction to the main living religions around the world. So this will be a text that we'll be using almost every week of class. I think I've ordered for this class the 10th edition, which is the latest edition. But if you can find an earlier edition, used or cheaper, I say go for it. The differences between the editions aren't all that wide ranging. So there might be a section moved or removed or some wording changed, but for the most part, it's if you can save some money and find an earlier edition, I'm totally fine with that. Just know that when it comes to kind of quizzing and testing, I will be using the 10th edition as my own source text. The other companion text, again, also by the same author, this so-called Anthology of Living Religions. And so this is a text that's filled with specific readings from sacred writings, from sacred texts, from thinkers, philosophers, scholars on the particular religions of the that we're talking about. So as we kind of get into our living religions, I think the first major one we look at is Hinduism, for example. In that week, I will have you read the chapter on Hinduism. You'll take a online reading quiz on it, and then follow that up with the companion reading on Hinduism from the anthology, which will be specific readings from sacred writings or thinkers or holy persons within that particular religion. And that will be more or less kind of the rhythm of the class as once we kind of get into the main topic. All right, so that's just a general overview of kind of what to expect. Like I said, the first thing that you can do is pick up these texts if you don't already have them. Make sure you take a peek at the next video, which will walk through the syllabus and take a look at the course Blackboard site. And after that, you should be ready to jump in the week 1 folder and get started. Don't hesitate to shoot me an email, jeffreywinkle@grcc.com, .edu, sorry, with any kinds of questions. And hopefully this week can have a smooth launch of this course. See you soon.